Hey friends, Joe the Farmer here. In today's video, we're going to do something incredibly fun. We're getting back to the basics. We're going to put some feeders out. We're going to put some deer feed out. The hunting season is sadly over. We've had some success. It's been a great season, but now it's time to give back to the animals. So we're going to get some Buck Bourbon Barrel Proof garlic and cinnamon blend food out with protein to start getting some weight back on those bucks. They could have lost 20 to 30% of their body weight. And all those moms who've been bred, they're going to have fawns. We want to maximize the nutrition that they have, make sure that they have every ability to reach their full potential. So I know that a lot of you guys who watch these channels, you've got some land, you love feeding these animals, you love taking care of them, whether you're a hunter or just a watcher or whatever it may be. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, this is the video. We're back. So now it's time to get back to the, kind of the basics. You know, again, we still have about 2 more weeks in the hunting season, but here in Tennessee, if the second we put feed in, we're waving the white flag. We're saying it's over. And it's just the way the temperature's been. I mean, it's starting to snow today. The wind is blowing. It's really cold. You can probably tell by my lips are a bit frozen, but it's time to get these animals the nutrition they need, the feed they need. They need the calories because it's cold out here and I want them to survive. We're going to go get some feeders, put them out because we have to take them down here in Tennessee before we start the season. Now the season's over, we can put the feeders back out. But we're also going to take this Bighorn 550 that has a new cab on it. We just had this cab put on here. It has a heater. Like, I am so spoiled. I know you can roast me in the comments if you want to, but I'm grateful to have that machine today because it is like cold. But you know, when you're watching trail cameras and you're watching these deer kind of look at, you know, looking where the feeders usually go and they look hungry, you kind of feel bad. So that gives me that extra motivation to do what we can today on our property, make sure that we're taking care of them. So let's get to work. We're going to check some trail cameras, put some feed out, and get some work done. Let's do it. Okay, we don't want to overload it too much. So first thing I'll have to do, I love the way that sounds. First thing I'll have to do is get the feeders out, but I'm going to bring the feed with us, drop them, then go in the barn, get the feeders, and then come back, open up and fill them. So not rocket science, but these deer are going to be very happy. Got the heater button on. Oh yeah. Had a bunch of deer running up that hill. That's wild. So this is one of the food plots we did. If you've been following the channel, you knew we actually retilled this one and replanted it. So there's plenty of food out here as far as, you know, brassicas, and I mean, they've eaten the rye basically down to the ground, but you know, it gives them some nutrition. And then of course here we had more cereal rye. That's gone. They've mowed this stuff down. The brassicas are actually gone here too, and then we have a lot of clover over that hill. So I think we'll put the feeder right around here. This is where we had it last year. This kind of lets them know, hey, this is where the food is, and this is a nice level spot. So I think this is probably a pretty good spot to put that feeder. All right, so I dropped these bags off. I'm probably gonna have about 20 pounds of extra feed, but I'll put that around the feeder just to let them know it's here again. And I actually also brought some of my secret weapon, a little bit of the 110. This stuff works great. Not paid a nickel to say it, but then we come back, we'll check some of these trail cameras. We got a few right here, and yeah. And by the way, quick tip that I always like to kind of, you know, leave with folks: if you're ever feeding and you're in an area where there's gonna be high deer density and you know where they're gonna be feeding, keep your machine running. I'm sorry if it's annoying on the audio, but if you keep the machine running, I just saw those 3 doe run up the hill, and until I turn that machine off, they're not going to blow at me. I turn that thing off, start walking around, then they think there's danger, then they'll start blowing at you. Keep the machine running while you're doing your feeding or getting your trail cards or your SD cards, and then just drive off. It's just a little trick. Works. So real quickly, talking about things that worked, check this thing out. So again, not sponsored. I bought these things, scrape stick. This is a cool product. You just put a branch in there. Look at that scrape. The beauty of this is that stick is not going anywhere. Well, the stick's going somewhere, but the scrape stick's not going anywhere, and that T-post isn't going anywhere. I had to just put it in one time. So, you know, come fall next year, early fall, I'll just put another stick in there, you know, basically take a leak in that scrape, and we're in business. So anyway, just want to show you guys that this stuff works. It works. Sometimes even I'm surprised it works as well as it does. All right, so I don't mind turning the engine off over here because this is not as heavy as a kind of a deer sanctuary. Back there on this other, this other side of this fence, it's all deer all the time. So right here, not as much. But you could see, this is where we had feed last year, and there's not, I mean, those are all rocks. If it looks like corn, it's not. Those are all little pebbles. They just keep coming back and pawing at it. So I think we'll just put another feeder right here because they're starting to get used to understanding where the feeders are. This blind will find another location this time next year. So there's nothing living in there. Okay, so always want to have a camera on your feeders, especially this time of year. Trying to take inventory. If a lot of this seems kind of elementary, that's because we have a lot of guys who may be watching this video who don't do this all the time. So leave those comments, man. Encourage our fellow hunters, encourage the people who are taking the sport up. It's important. We need to, you know, build each other up, give each other ideas. The other idea that I'd say is that I'm going to be driving through here, and when I feed this feeder, I'm going to want to feed it from this side, not driving over here on the other side. So I need to flip this thing around so it's much easier to just hop on the back, fill the feeder, and go off my day. By the way, if you're curious, these are Boss Buck feeders. These are gravity feeders. There's a lot of them that spin and like kind of throw the feed out all around you. I really prefer this kind. They're low maintenance and they work, and I mean, they're bulletproof. So love these Boss Buck feeders. You do want them to be relatively level though. That's probably good. Most importantly today, I did remember a knife, and our knife of the day, this is one of those SOGs that has like a lock on it. There we go. Look at that thing. That is sharp. This is gonna be our knife of the day. Now, these do have pull tabs on the bags. I just find it a whole lot easier, just slice them open. What's funny is these deer, they get to know this thing as the chuck wagon, right? So they start hearing this feed hit that feeder, and I promise you, they can see me right now, wherever they are. They're laying down, they're bedded, they're hiding somewhere. They know exactly what's going down, and we will have deer at this feeder tonight. So now the final thing I'll do is I'll take a bag of 110. This is more their attractant than it is like a feed. And, you know, just basically coat all around the bottom of this feeder with this 110, because this will draw them in, and eventually they'll kind of figure out that it's in the feeder, and they'll start eating. That's what the 110 looks like. I've talked about this before. It smells almost like a barbecue rub, and it's distiller grains and corn and molasses, and man, it just smells so good. I think that's the only way to get it through that gate. It's harder when it's a one-man job. The machines help though. The machines help a whole lot. Anything living in there? All right, so it took 8 bags. These barrel proof bags are 40-pound bags. You can kind of see what's in there. Great product. Deer absolutely love it. Let me give you a look of what it looks like. You can see the protein in there. You see the corn in there. Obviously some minerals. Anyway, the Buck Bourbon store is a good one. My buddy George started the company. Super smart guy. Knows everything there is to know about deer. So I trust him when he says that this is good stuff. A little bit extra. There's probably 30 pounds extra because this thing is absolutely jam-packed. This is a 350-pound feeder. I don't think I said that. And once you fill it with 350 pounds, there's gonna be a little bit left, because none of these bags are 50 pounds anymore. They're all 40 pounds now. And I don't know if that's because they don't want to give you 50 pounds or because they're lighter. You may hear me huffing and puffing a little bit because, you know, 8 40-pound bags above your head is not super easy. I'm gonna take this and actually just spread it around a little bit, because again, it'll bring them in, and eventually they'll come right to that feeder, put their little snout. I could do it more gracefully if I had 2 hands, but you know, not a whole lot to it. If it's gonna rain, probably don't want to put a bunch of that protein on the ground. Protein doesn't do great in the rain. And again, I'll come back with some of the 110, the attractant, because we want every deer around here to know. And I really want to get an inventory of what's still alive, what's made it through the year, made it through the season, because that'll be important. That'll help us know, you know, which one's a target and which one we want to give as long as we possibly can and let them reach their full potential. So this stuff, that's where it's at. I've got a couple Browning cameras on that little pedestal. They'll see whatever's moving around here. So if we get any good pics in the end of this video, I will 100% put them here at the end. This camera's pointed up way too much. That needs to come down. This is a cell cam, so we actually want that pointed right there at the side-by-side. And I have a non-cell cam just pointed at this little trail, and that is going to give us any pictures of things walking down this way. There's a look at the setup. With one major problem, we don't litter. All right, on to the next one. I think the Bighorn needs some greasing. I'm hearing a little bit of a squeak in there, which I'm sure you can too. Now I can't show you this camera because this is actually a prototype and it should be coming out next year. But if there's pictures or video on it, I will show you those. But anyway, I appreciate y'all coming with us today, having some fun, you know, taking care of the land, taking care of the animals, you know, putting out feed, making sure that these animals have plenty to eat and they reach their full potential, because that's what we all want to do. I know a lot of you have land. You've reached out to me, told me about it. I think it's amazing. We all really enjoy the same stuff, and these aren't the kind of videos that get hundreds of thousands of views, but you know what? This is what shows you where our passion is. So we will have a lot more videos this year about this kind of stuff. We have so much cool stuff happening. This is the end of 2023 as I'm talking to you, and I just can't believe that this year is almost over. But 2024, I think, is going to be a banner year, like an awesome year. And I have you to thank for a lot of this, because we have a lot of cool stuff happening here on the farm that wouldn't happen without this channel. So I look forward to catching up with each and every one of you in the new year. And I appreciate the comments you leave, and I hope you have a blessed new year, and I can't wait to see you in 2024. So catch you in the next one. Joe the Farmer, we out.